How's it going, everybody? I'm live on one. I'm just gonna run it. I'll usually make funny things happen. Plus, nobody's really watching. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Jeff Zahler, Zahler Properties. We're gonna get live here on my feed. We're live on Instagram. I think we're live on the Zahler Properties website or the Zahler Properties feed. Happy Wednesday. So we did something fun this week. Thanks to everybody who voted. It got close towards the end, but the answer of what we're going to be talking about today was voted on by you all, and it's going to be a real estate topic. So I really wanted to talk about it, do a Major League Baseball preview as a non-real estate topic, but that will have to wait for another time. Go Dodgers. Zahler Properties, Jeff Zahler, episode 31 of ZPLive. Wow, it kind of sounds like a lot now. Is the market here shifting? Some people say yes, some people say no. We say, yeah, it's always shifting, but I wanted to bring up a couple things that we've noticed lately and kind of segment the market a little bit. So that's kind of the topic we've got going on for today. When we talk about whether or not the Las Vegas real estate market is shifting. So first thing I wanted to do is I just looked at the market in general over the last 7 days here locally in the Las Vegas area in our MLS. In the last week, we've had 1,381 brand new listings, which sounds like a whole lot of new listings, which is great. Problem is we had 1,439 units go into contract or into contingent status, and an additional 302 go into pending status. So while we got 1,381 new listings, looks like about 1,741 listings became unavailable. So what we're seeing is still a kind of a net negative, right? We're still seeing inventory levels get tightened up overall in the market. So what that's going to mean is that's going to mean more multiple offers. That's going to mean more inventory tightening. That's going to be more sellers with a lot of power, really, is what we're seeing. We kind of look at these numbers quite a bit, and you like to see stuff kind of in sync, if you will, whereas the number of new listings kind of matches, maybe slightly increases, slightly decreases versus what is going into contract and what is pending. However, when you have 1,381 new listings and over 1,700 listings off the market, that's a substantial. That's about a 300 net less inventory just for 1 week. So is the market shifting? If we look at it just that specific way, no, the market's still really, really strong, right? So if you just looked at one piece of data, you'd say, no, the market's still crazy strong. Don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. The market's not shifting. However, what we also have seen in the last week or so, 307 homes that were in contract of some sort, either contingent status or pending, are now back on the market. So what does that mean? It means potentially inspections didn't come out well, appraisal issues, the buyer couldn't maybe qualify, or what we're seeing here is maybe the buyer actually wrote contracts on multiple houses, got multiple accepted, and then backed out of one and then proceeded with the other. So 307 homes back on the market is kind of a good amount. So you look at that, is the market shifting? Are buyers a little bit more worried about the market? Maybe they're having second thoughts. Maybe the interest rates that have been going up, that have come down again a little bit, have affected how much people are able to afford. So there is that type of shift that we've been seeing and looking at as well. The other stat that I like to talk about is, again, is the market shifting? The last week, we've had 145 homes or listings have a price increase. So you see that sometimes, which signifies a strong market. But you have 145 that have shown an increase. You've had 587 units have shown a decrease in the last 7 days. We were in a situation, we were very, very rarely seeing decreases in pricing in the market, right? As we've talked about the 3 pricing strategies here before. Generally speaking, the only time you see the price decreases is somebody was trying to shoot the moon, try to get a super high price. We actually showed a house to some clients 2 days ago. It was listed at $320, and it had been originally listed for $400,000. It was an $80,000 price decrease. the home wasn't ever a $400,000 property. The home was a $320,000, $325,000 property. So yeah, you see that decrease, and you see a substantial decrease, but it's now coming into where it's supposed to be priced. So 587 price decreases versus 145 increases. That's a pretty strong ratio, showing we are seeing some homes with a price decrease. So when you compare the price decrease with the number of homes that have popped back on the market, that 307 number, you do see, and if you look at it that way, you do see some weakness or whatever. Do you have a question or anything?
Yes. Casey Smith asks, do you see appraisals matching offers?
Great question, Casey. We'll get into that. We actually talked about that last week, but I'm going to jump into that. The answer overall, yes and no, right? We're definitely still seeing a lot of appraisals have issues. Sometimes when we don't expect the issue. The joke I always say is the ones that I worry about usually come in at value. The ones that I have no worries about are the ones we have issues on. So we are still seeing that appraisal contract price issue probably more often than not. And the reason we are seeing this, and what we discussed last week on episode 30, was buyers, sellers, and agents have seen what the market is doing, and they're pricing as if we are continuing in this trend, which is exactly what we're seeing. And statistically, we have shown we still are increasing, especially with the low inventory level. The issue we're now seeing is with appraisers. Appraisers, by law or by trade, if you will, have to look at what has happened, right? A sold home is history if you think about it. So that's that disconnect we're seeing. Appraisers looking at stuff that has happened, buyers, sellers, and agents looking at what is happening. So there's your disconnect, Casey. Great question. And again, episode 30, if you go to our YouTube page, we did a 15-20 minute conversation about that last week alone. So definitely jump on our YouTube page. I think it's just youtube.com/Zahler Properties or whatever. And that was episode 30, but awesome question. So back to the market shift. Sorry about that. So we're seeing this price decrease far outweigh the price increase, which is a normal ratio, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. And then the other thing we're seeing, overall, the number of sales continue to drop in February. So the number of sales in February was actually lower than the number of sales in January. Somebody who's smart enough will say, well, there are only 28 days in February, there's 31 days in January. That's absolutely true. But what we're seeing is when we see a drop like that, you do tend to see some price increases. Again, it's a supply and demand thing. The other thing I do want to say is while we did have prices or just the pure number of home sales drop from January to February, the drop was flattening, if you will. So it wasn't a cliff, it was more like a trough, if you will. So that it would be interesting to see what happens in the next couple months if that continues to happen that way. Overall, the market, the MLS market here, we're sitting at about 1.7 months of inventory. We say 6 months inventory is a neutral market. When we've been talking about this, even at the later part of 2017, we were right around 2.1, 2.2 months of inventory. So we're down to 1.7 months of inventory. That's perfectly stated right here with that 1,381 new listings versus over 1,700 into contract. What that means, you'll hear me talk about months of inventory. You'll hear me talk about absorption rate. Basically, if every single house was no new homes were allowed to be put on the market starting right today, it would take 1.7 months, 7 weeks, 6.5 weeks to essentially sell all the inventory that we have in Las Vegas. That's a very, very strong market overall. So we're seeing the market hasn't shifted per se, but we're definitely seeing some signs, especially in the higher end, of things flattening a little bit. Why? Mortgage rates is definitely one of the reasons. Mortgage rates have definitely spiked a little bit. They're starting to come back down, which is great. So if you are thinking about locking a loan, maybe it's a good time to lock after that small little dip we had recently. The other thing we're seeing is we're just seeing buyers sometimes just getting frustrated with the situation. One of our agents, Jason, has been working with some great clients, and basically anything in the sub 300,000 market, you're still seeing a super, super, super competitive market. So expect, and I say this seriously, expect multiple offers on almost any home, condo, townhome under that 300,000 price range. Obviously, especially the single family stuff. So if the home is priced under 300,000 and it's priced right, meaning it's not a $200,000 house listed for 300,000, but if it's priced right, it is going to have multiple offers. As a buyer, I know sometimes as a first-time buyer or somebody who feels like they want to negotiate or get a good deal, if you love the home, make an aggressive offer that you can live with, because you may not get an opportunity to have a counter offer. More often than not, we are seeing offers go just basically, they're just going with the highest offer right away because they're getting so many offers and they don't want to deal with the whole counter offer situation. So I personally wrote an offer for a client just last week. The house was listed at $235. We wrote an offer for $245. So we came in $10,000 over asking price, didn't even get a counter offer. So in that sub 300 market, the market is still on fire. So if you love the house, if you have the means to, and if you think the house will appraise or get extremely, extremely close, talk to your agent about just coming in with a very good, strong, aggressive, clean offer, because that may be the one and only shot you have at that home. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're shopping over the weekend or with an agent. You may only have one shot at a home under 300,000, and just plan that. I always say, if in the long run, basically an extra $5,000 is about $20 a month, $25 a month. Nobody likes to spend more money, but if it's the house of your dreams, or at least the house of your next few years, keep that in mind, right? Sometimes it feels good to win an argument, but if you can lose it, you can win the battle but lose the war. So keep that in mind. So kind of keep this one a little bit shorter today, or about 12 minutes or so. But yeah, so is the market shifting? Yeah, it depends on how you look at it, right? The market under 300,000, as we've said, is still dramatically strong. The market in that 400 to 500, 600,000 range, you're seeing interest rates really start to affect those type of people, because a 4.5% to 5% interest rate adjustment or a hike, that's a couple $100 a month difference. So we're seeing that kind of affect that middle range market. The high end market here is still kind of a hit and miss, right? If it's priced well, there's just obviously just a lot less people in that $1 million+ price range here in the Las Vegas Valley, but things are moving. So the things we like to keep on our eyes is, like I said, the number of new listings versus the number of listings that are going into contract, keeping an eye on what is popped back on the market. Pardon me. So again, 1381 new listings, plus, if you will, 307 of them back on the market, is about 1,700. And if you count the contingent and pending, that's a little over 1,700. So it's kind of a balanced market. What that doesn't show is obviously the ones that pop back on the market and went into contract that kind of cancel each other out. Don't want to get too crazy on that. But yeah, so market shifting, we're still a very strong market, right? This is still the #1 overall market in the country, based on a whole lot of different writers, different studies. We are seeing the term we've used here, and not just here, I would definitely say we didn't coin it, but the term we're seeing here is the California exodus. I'm a Southern California native. I would say 40 to 50% of our Zillow clients that we're talking to are generally, in any internet lead we're talking with is from the great state of California. And it's still a great place to live. It's still a very inexpensive place to live comparatively. And there's a lot of great advantages to living in the Valley. You're just going to have to fight and compete with other people. The other thing we're seeing on this is, as I said, part of the reason we're seeing a dip is people are getting frustrated with that resale market, and they are looking to new build. We've probably done, I think between what we've already closed or what we've already put people into contract on as far as new builds are concerned, after almost 3 months this year, is about where we did for all of 2017. So we're seeing people say, you know what, we've got 6 months, let's just do a new build. We know we're paying a premium, but we don't want to deal with this multi-offer, counter-offer, and then having to go and kind of, gut the house and do new flooring and all that stuff. So we are seeing a lot of people turn to the new build. We've got a great new build team here. All of our agents are extremely experienced with new build. One of our agents actually was a new build home professional for a couple years before coming back to the resale market. So he knows the ins and outs of how new build really operate. And as I always like to say, remember, new build with new build, any sales professional here at Zahler Properties or anywhere else can help with a new build. The new builders, they work for the builder. They don't let you know when you walk in that they don't represent you, right? They're there to work for the builder. You even have to sign a document basically saying they will help you, but you're not being represented by them. So if you're making a decision to buy a new build, and you're looking at a 6-month build time, and you're looking at decisions that you need to make and all that stuff, really consider looking and talking with a professional. It doesn't cost you anything. The builder pays a commission to us. They don't offer a discount to you if you do not have representation. They have it built into how they operate, how their budgets are. So really going into a new build without an agent does not provide you any advantage, and you're going at it alone. So again, if you are looking at new build, which is awesome, I said Jason used to work for a new builder here. My father is a builder. I've grown up with building. We've got a lot of really good experience here. Misty has put a handful of people into new build contracts already since she's been here about 6-7 months. So we'd love to help with the new build as well. So that's it for episode 31. Market shifting really depends on who you ask. But we look forward to bringing you more content. This will be available on our YouTube page this afternoon as well, with a link. And if you have any questions, please let us know. You can contact us directly at 702-758-4699. Shoot us an email at info@zahlerproperties.com, or click the message button either on Facebook or Instagram. We'll definitely connect with you right away. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.